Welcome back to Breakfast Central. A viral video over a disputed plot of land recently showed an altercation between the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, and a naval officer in Abuja. The Honourable Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, was seen in a heated exchange with a uniformed naval officer. The minister had demanded access to a piece of land that had been a bone of contention between the FCTA officials and a retired vice admiral. But the naval officer placed in charge of securing the property stood his ground, insisting he was acting on orders from a superior officer. Tempers rose, cameras rolled, and the nation watched as the entire drama unfolded.
This is government property. Show me the document you have. You have no document.
So we have documents.
Bring the document.
We have documents and everything has been submitted, sir.
Excuse me. I'm the minister.
Yes, sir.
You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me that. We cannot continue to add in this impunity. Where your approval even to build. You cannot continue this way. This country cannot continue along this line. How can that man at his level, even if he has a problem, he cannot reach me and say, look, I'm sorry. See what I have. You will send soldiers to intimidate who? We are all from this country. And this is government. You cannot be higher than any government. You cannot be carrying gun to intimidate people to not to do their work. Let me tell you, if not God achieve for the first staff who spoke to me now, you could have killed everybody here. No problem.
Different clips of this interaction and movement has caused reactions from different corners of the nation. We've seen several people reacting to this and sharing their thoughts. But what does this mean for us? Where do we place the blame? And joining us to analyze this is human rights activist and lawyer, Deji Adeyanju. Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. From that clip we played, you could see the FCT minister basically inferring that they hadn't properly perfected the title to the land or there was some illegality. We don't know the full picture regarding that piece of property. He's accused them of using military personnel to threaten and intimidate the government. There are those who would also argue that Section 1 of the Land Use Act, vests the power and authority or the ownership of the land to the state, and that, the governor holds it in trust for the people. But let's get first your reaction to that video when you first saw it, and then we'll go into the legal angle.
Yes, basically, Nyesom Wike has a penchant for always bullying people, harassing people. Since he became minister of the FCT, I know so many cases where he has gone to demolish people's lands without due process, following due process of law. In some cases, there was even a house he demolished in Aso Drive where the person had run to court.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, where the person had run to court and the matter was already in court. He still went ahead and demolished the house. He has annexed land adjacent to his home in Guzape, area of Asokoro Extension. He has taken people's land when people have even gone to court, went to Archbishop John Onayekon to beg. The man went to see him. He still did not. He went ahead and demolished people's houses that they got and annexed them to his property. So Section 1 of the Land Use Act is very clear. You understand? And other provisions of the Land Use Act is very clear. That the governors that all land is vested in the governor, that the governor shall hold it in trust for the people. The governor shall not hold it in trust for himself, his father, or his children, or his friends, or his cronies, like Nyesom Wike is doing. Nyesom Wike, what he's doing, there is no society, just society, equitable society, that will allow what Nyesom Wike is doing. The only reason why Nyesom Wike is allowed to do all these things that he's doing is because that he wrote results for the president. He wrote results for the president in Rivers State. That is the only justification. You understand? Aside that, there is no human justification whatsoever for what Nyesom Wike is doing. No government, even the military regime, we allow what Nyesom Wike is doing in Abuja.
Now, Mr. Adeyanju, if I may come in here, because we don't have a party representing Mr. Wike on the panel this morning, so I'll just play devil's advocate and ask questions on their behalf, because they'll be wondering, if they're watching, that where do you have evidence that, you know, the FCT minister is holding land in trust of his cronies, his children, and what's the evidence that he wrote results for Mr. President in Rivers State? He's not a member of the Independent National Electoral Commission. So these are very serious allegations that you're alleging on national television.
These allegations have been made by other people.
We would like you to throw some evidence and light behind it.
See, the evidence is in public domain. There's nothing I'm saying here today that is not in public domain. You understand? The elections in Rivers was rigged. Everybody knows. What are we talking about?
Okay, Mr. Adeyanju.
Being economical with the truth.
Mr. Adeyanju.
The fact speaks for themselves. The issue of him annexing land for his father, he allocated people's land that were taken in Guzapi and other areas of Abuja, choice areas. He allocated for his children. There's a People's Gazette report on this. He allocated for himself, allocated for his own father, allocated for his cronies, for his friends, for his political ally. Who does that? Even the Land Use Act is very clear that revocation of land, that it can only be done in overriding public interest. For instance, if you want to build an airport, you want to build a train station, you want to build a general hospital, you want to build a railway, that is the only condition precedent for revoking land under the Land Use Act. You cannot revoke Mr. A's land and give it to Mr. B. Even when Mr. A is crying that this land, I have paid all the dues, this land belongs to me, the man has rushed to court. On this subject matter, the only reason why we are hearing this now is that he has gone to touch the land of a big man. He has been doing this, demolishing people's houses, grabbing people's land since he became FCT minister. Thousands of people in the FCT. But we've not heard of this because these are powerless people that cannot challenge him. So for the first time, yes, the military does not have, should ordinarily not be in a place where they are safeguarding land or property. The military should be safeguarding the territorial integrity of our country, to protect our sovereignty. But this is what lawlessness, this is what Wike has reduced the Federal Capital Territory to. The Federal Capital Territory stinks. Once there's a little rain around Area 1, we say to Metama everywhere, even in Asokoro, the entire places is flooded because the drainages are not clean. You understand? So the things that he should be focusing on, he's not. All he does is moving around grabbing people's land. So there's nothing that I've said here, or I'm going to say that you cannot fact check me to go and see that these things are in public domain. Okay. You cannot steal people's land and give to your family members.
All right, Mr. Adeyanju.
You cannot steal people's land and give to your friends and your cronies and your political allies. It's wrong.
Just to highlight that we had reached out to the SA to the FCT Minister, Mr. Lere Olayinka. Unfortunately, he couldn't join this interview. He said he was on our other programs earlier on, so that would actually...
Lere is a jobless person. Even if you have told me that Lere is coming here.
Again, Mr.
Even if you have told me that Lere is coming here, there is no way I will have accepted to be in an interview with Lere. Okay. Somebody does not have a job. Somebody that worked for Fire for 8 years, but could not even put his life together.
But anyway, Barrister Adeyanju, Lere is not our conversation here. Like I said, we have reached out to him.
You're the one that raised him.
But Lere
is not somebody I can debate on any issue. Someone that doesn't have character.
Okay.
That's fine. Can we move on now? Just to mention that we're aware that you led the call for the revocation of lands, especially the ones that you mentioned earlier on, concerning lands that in quotes were allegedly grabbed by the FCT minister to be given to his sons. What happened to that? Have you taken the matter to court? Is it in court? Is there any proceedings concerning that?
Yes, there are a few number of steps that we have taken. Representing my client, Omoyele Shore, there's a matter in the US that we are following very closely and working with lawyers in the US as well. We believe that majority of the land that has been grabbed by the FCT minister are going to be recovered, because the law is very clear that you cannot take people's land and allocate to others. You understand? It's a contravention and violation of the Land Use Act. The governor does not have the power. He has acted ultra-vires the powers conferred on him. If he had taken the land for overriding public interest, then that would have been an exception. But the exception has not arisen in the instant case, and the instant cases relating to majority of the land that the FCT minister has grabbed. Some of these matters are already in court, and citizens can be rest assured that these things will not stand. He's not the first FCT minister that has tried to grab people's land. But things like this have never stood the test of time. There are those that say, oh, if you rush to court, Wike is already in the court waiting for you. I laugh. The truth of the matter is that ministers have come, FCT ministers have come and gone. Wike will not be the first and he will not be the last FCT minister. The truth is, everybody knows that even the people around the president are tired of Wike. He is one of the most overbearing person that anybody can deal with. You can see what he did to Fubara in Rivers State and several other people.
All right.
There's nobody that Wike is with today that he will not betray.
We'll come back to explore this conversation even further, but let's go on a very quick break. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still looking at the recent altercation that has gone viral between the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, and the Naval officer, Yerima. But we are having here in the studio virtually Deji Adeyanju, human rights lawyer and activist, joining us. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you again.
I want us to go back and speak to the legality or otherwise, before we come into the physical altercation, the legality or otherwise of how this matter was handled. The FCT minister said that government officials from the FCT Department of Control were chased away from the site by soldiers. So if we go by what the FCT minister had said, would that have been a way to go about it, or should there have been a different approach to sorting out the perfection of the title to the land, or the legality of the ownership of the land or otherwise?
Yeah, so I have been privileged to speak with the lawyer handling this matter, that has been handling this matter for quite some time. I have seen documents and correspondences between the estate that was allocated to the land, Santos Properties and its subsidiaries, and also the AMAC. This land was allocated to them about 15 years ago. I have seen that they've paid all the dues. The land is for parks and recreation. But since Wike came, people have been saying that his people from Ekwere, that they have something there's something with them and land grabbing. But I don't want to believe it. But since he came, he has been turning parks, and gardens into residential buildings, because he wants to recreate a new dynamics in the FCT for ownership of land. So I think he has had a meeting probably with his cronies that, we want to be the new landlord with his children and his family members. So he is allocating land in hectares, not in square meters, in hectares to his family members, his friends. So any parts he sees, he has taken people's parts in Metama, Asukoro, Guzape, all over the town. So this land is in far away Dadua. So these people were given this land 15 years ago. They got all the necessary papers. I've seen all the necessary papers that they've had. They've dealt with and exchanged correspondence with different FCT ministers over the years. And even him, but immediately they've cleared the area, put facilities there, compensated the locals and indigenous around the place, and they are in possession. And the position of the law, that possession is 9/10 of the law. They are in possession of the place. They've been in possession of the place for about 15 years. So he went there, he saw that the land was attractive, he wanted to take the place, and they resisted it. So they started having meetings with the FCDA. So they met with the FCDA over the issue. And for peace to reign, they said, the man desperately wants the place. They said, okay, out of the 30 hectares, we'll give 8 hectares back to FCTA. So that he can, whatever he wants to use with the land, let him use it. So, but the man refused. The man said he must take the entire place, which is what he has been doing all over town. That he must take the entire 30 hectares. And the people said, no, you can never. You will not. This land belongs to us. That because we've even considered to return 8 hectares is out of our goodwill. It's because we just feel we want peace to reign. And the man said, typical of him, said he must take the land. That he's the minister. There is no such power. The law has vested the land in the governor. The governor is to hold the land in trust for the people. The governor is not to grab the land by force, by creating a task force and invading the land. No, you cannot. That is trespass. Once you gather a task force in contravention with the law, you have not complied. In fact, there are procedures that you must follow. That, for instance, you must stipulate that, oh, this land, the reason why I want to take this land is because, not because you want to convert a park to residential homes. You revoke without giving. In fact, if you wanted to even do that, the people who got the approval should have gotten the right of first refusal. They should have gotten the right of first refusal to say, oh, we want to change this from parks and gardens and recreation to residential. So you give them the right to first refusal. It is when they refuse or refuse to pay that you now say, oh, for that reason, since it's developmental purposes, that, oh, we now want to sell to the public. No, you sit in your office with a barrow and say, approve to so person. You revoke somebody else's land. Mr. A's land, give it to Mr. B. Secondly, the issue of Wike invading the land, which is trespass implicit. The issue of Wike invading the land. Before he went to the land, Wike had called the CDS and the Chief of Naval Staff, CDS. And they had told him that, don't worry, we will investigate the matter and get back to you. No, he did not wait for them to get back to him. He proceeded to the land in a brigandage manner, that he would take the land by force. If it was an ordinary man's land, like this is the way he has been doing. There was a widow in Asokoro that he went and demolished her home. She and her children were on the house. There was no appeal that they didn't make. We visited the plot during the demolition. Wike went ahead and demolished the entire woman's plot, just right by his house. And you will be shocked to hear the person he allocated the land of the widow, he demolished their house. So this is what he has been doing. He's a land grabber. You understand? He does not believe in rule of law. So, but he was resisted because he met a higher power. The military should be his ambassador for us. But when you live in a society where people like Wike do not follow the rule, then everybody will resort to self-help. And this is not to say that resorting to self-help is a welcome idea, but this is what Wike has pushed people to. That people no longer have trust or faith in going to court. Many people have even said, oh, before you get to court, Wike is already in the court waiting for you. You understand? Which is really a sad paradox of some sort. But the truth of the matter is that people must have confidence in the courts. People must approach the court for remedy. Immediately, the first step that you should do, immediately you hear that Wike wants to grab your land, the first thing you should do is you should run to court. You should go to court, file processes, and serve him. So that, because majority of this land that is grabbing, they will still be taken back. And the truth of the matter is that some of these things that Wike is doing has both economic and environmental implication. Because if a land under the Abuja Master Plan has been designed parks and recreation, you see that majority of those things, those parks and recreation, there are underground tunnels. The way Abuja was designed for channeling of drainages and all this. So when you now tamper with the Abuja Master Plan, it simply means, and this is why flooding, if there is little rain, it simply means the town will be in danger in the nearest future. Secondly, many banks now in the FCT no longer accept landed property as collateral in the bank. And the Land Use Act, one of the innovations of the Land Use Act is that land is an economic valued asset.
All right.
For societal engineering and development. So when banks begin to say, oh, title in Abuja is no longer safe and sound, that, oh, if this person uses his land or his property for collateral, tomorrow Wike can come and take it. Then it simply means that Wike is tampering with the economic development of the country. And
right.
The president needs votes in Rivers State. The president needs votes in Rivers State. But is that what's destroying our economy and the environment of the FCT? Right. Knowing fully well that the FCT is like the Washington of Africa.
And it really it's unfortunate to see how these things have turned out, Deji, and now it's become a butt of jokes on social media. Comedians have started to make skit about it. And we certainly believe this could have been handled better and handled differently. But We've run out of time now. We need to go on a break. Thank you very much, Deji Adeyanju, for joining us.
Thank you sincerely for having me.